Are you always confused when a guy can't get enough of you within the first 2 weeks of meeting you? And then boom, he's a ghost once again. Isn't it frustrating to consistently be trying to figure out what it is you're doing wrong that is repelling these men away from you? I'm going to be honest with you. It's not really about what you're doing, and it's more about the men and how they operate. Which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing why he acts interested and then disappears. That way you can finally have a clear understanding of why this extremely strange situation continues to happen to you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome, all you beautiful souls, on this Thursday afternoon, Thursday night for some of you, and Friday morning for some of you. How are you doing? Good to see all of your beautiful, I was going to say faces, usernames and profile pictures, okay? So who we got here in the chat? So over in the YouTube chat, we got Ashley, of course, holding it down, one of the funniest people. Ivy, another one of the funniest people in the YouTube chat. We got Julie, one of our channel members. I see we got Deb as well. And I believe, was it Trace? No, it was Anitra. Anitra was number one in today's chat today. She was like bright and early before we even got started. She was like an hour early. So shout out to Anitra. And of course, we got the OG Enlightened A here and much more in the YouTube chat. Who we got over in the TikTok chat? I seen Sharice was first in the TikTok chat today. So shout out to Sharice. I also believe I seen SH was here as well. BBQ Queen. I see Rosie here. Nada here. Dragonfly. I think I seen Scotty here as well. You know, Scotty's one of the staples, always participating. I seen Olivia earlier. Nifasimi's here. Welcome all of you beautiful souls. I love spending this time with you. It's my favorite time of the day. I hope it's your favorite time of the day. Let's hop right into it. You know, we don't like to waste time. So we're going to get started here with number one, which is the two types of interests. Okay. So number one is the different types of interests. Now, the reason I want to make it clear to you that there are different types of interest is because I know this can be very, very confusing to you. Sorry, did I not shout out Missy America over in the YouTube chat as well? Thank you so much to Missy America, who holds down our YouTube chat as our one and only moderator. I can't forget to shout her out, okay? She needs her respect. Okay, back to two types of interest. Very important. We understand there are different types of interest, and not all types of interest are created equal. Now, let's focus on the two main ones. We're going to have romantic interest is number one, and we're going to have lustful interest is number two. Lust is going to play a big role in everything we're going to discuss today. So buckle your seatbelts up, okay? And tighten your pants belts up, okay? Because we're going to get deep into lust today. Now, you need to understand, obviously, romantic interest is an avenue through which men are going to approach you. If they're romantically interested in you, meaning, I want us to be very clear what romantic interest actually is and not confused here. Romantic interest is his desire to make you his girlfriend and eventually make you his wife. Okay? Are we following along? I know when I say romantic interest, you're just thinking, oh, when a guy says that he loves me. Let me be the first one to tell you, guys will tell you that they love you for a multitude of different reasons, some of which have nothing to do with being in a relationship with you. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. So when I'm referring to romantic interest, I need to make it clear to you that romantic interest can only stem from his desire to build a long-term, lasting, serious relationship with you, make you his girlfriend, and then eventually plan to marry you if he's into marriage, whatever. Lifelong commitment. Just think of it like that. And so I want that to be clear because in terms of why guys act interested in the beginning, you have to understand that different men are showing their interest in you for different reasons. And some men are showing their interest in you because they are romantically interested in you, meaning because they actually want to make you their wife. They actually want to make you their girlfriend. They actually want to build with you. That's fine. That's cool. It happens. Now, I also need to be very clear when we're talking about why men show interest and then disappear, that there's a different type of interest out there that feels a lot like romantic interest, right? To you, from your perspective. But however, It is not actually the same as romantic interest, which is why things start going sideways after a while. Are you following me so far? Okay. Now, the thing I'm referring to when I say, when I'm talking about romantic interest, let me make sure I turn down this mic just a little bit. Let me turn this down just a smidgen. Okay. So what I'm referring to when I say romantic interest, okay, or sorry, the second thing I'm talking about when I'm talking about aside from romantic interest is lustful interest. Now, I want us to be very clear. Guys are going to show you lustful interest, and it's going to feel very, very similar to romantic interest. Okay. Now I'm going to break this down for you in a very clear, concise way so that you can understand the difference and you can understand why this version of interest usually ends up in him showing a lot of interest in you in the beginning and then disappearing on you after a while. Okay. Let's be very clear. Now, when guys are going to show lustful interest in you, you have to understand that there's not a lot of blood flow up here. There's a lot of blood flow going on down here. That translates to he's horned up. Okay. Now, it's not unnatural for guys to be horned up. It's not unnatural for guys to seek that physical connection. They want to insert themselves inside you and jackrabbit themselves inside you. That's not a crime in itself. Okay. That's just how they were built and molded and created. Now, but I want you to understand, in the process of guys growing and maturing and having more relationships, they come to the realization that if I want more pineapples, we call it pineapples on the show instead of saying, sex, okay? If I want more pineapples as a man, men grow to understand that the best way for me to extract pineapples from you, the woman, is not by coming up to you and saying, hey girl, I hope you know there's a lot of blood flow going on in between my legs and my lower extremities, and that blood flow is making that thing in between my legs be rock solid. I would like to insert that thing in between my legs right inside of you. Do you think you could open up your legs and spread yourself wide open and allow me to jackrabbit all of this rock solidness inside of you? No. Because they know if they come up to you and they say that, you're going to go, that's disgusting. Please get at least 20 feet away from me. Please back up. Please back up. Okay? And they don't want you to react like that. Okay? Because they know that's going to ruin their chances of getting access to you. I know that I'm breaking it down in a way that seems very trivial, but I'm just being real with you. Right? So they grow to understand, okay, if I want to extract these pineapples from this woman, if I know I find her attractive, there's blood flow to my lower extremities and I need to insert it in something. I need to insert it inside a warm body. I need to figure out a strategy to quickly and efficiently be able to insert myself inside this warm body. Right? And in order for him to do that, in the process of him growing and maturing, he realizes that the best strategy is to appeal to what you're interested in. So guys gain the understanding that the best version of appealing to what you're interested in and what you like to get access to you, because the goal is to get access to you. Let's just be for real. They understand that the best way to approach that is to appeal to your emotions, make you feel like this is your moment, make you feel like you're a Disney princess, okay? He wants to tell you all the ways that he loves you. He wants to tell you all the ways that he can't wait to build a life with you. He wants to tell you how he wants you to have his kids and how he wants you guys to get married and how the moment that he laid his eyes on you, not laid his eyes on your dump truck, the moment he laid his eyes on you, that he realized this was love at first sight, right? Guys are going to give you all of these different stories because they realize that the best way to appeal to you is to appeal to your emotions. This is why the interest at the very beginning feels a lot like the romantic interest that I was referring to before. However, it's not the same as romantic interest because hidden underneath the romantic interest is really the lustful interest and the desire to be inside you and jackrabbit himself inside you and get that type of satisfaction. Okay, so he understands he can't just come out and say that, and he can't just come out and be like, this is my plan and this is my strategy. He has to make it seem like he's aligned with you. He has to make it seem like this is all about you, and he has to make it seem like he's emotionally invested in you, which is why, and this is the thing, this is how you spot that. I know some of you already know the term of love bombing, but this is how you spot that, because you'll get to, as you join the Players Club and you participate more, you'll get to understand that the BS meter should be going off whenever you meet someone that starts laying it on thick. So the strategy that guys are going to do when they're actually showing you lustful interest instead of real, genuine romantic interest is, because they are just showing you that romantic interest, what you think is romantic interest, because they actually have the desire to just get inside of you, they're going to lay on that romantic interest very thick and very heavy at the beginning, because they want that to be as emotionally overwhelming for you as it possibly can. The more emotionally overwhelming for you that it is, the easier it becomes for him to get that access to you. Remember, his goal when he has lustful interest in you is for you to spread your legs wide open and for him to get inside you. And if in order for him to do that quickly and efficiently, it's more efficient for him to lay it on thick, that you will more quickly be convinced that this is your moment, more quickly be convinced that this is exactly what you've been looking for. And also, most importantly for him, be quickly convinced that his interest in you is true and genuine. Because when you're emotional, what can you not be? You cannot be logical, okay? I just want you to remember that. The more emotional he can get you as a man, and this is, like I say, this is not necessarily something that the guys are like writing down in their notebook and their fault. Like, you're in class, this is not something necessarily that they're in class writing this down. Like, okay, you got to appeal to our emotions, you got to do this, you got to do that. Although there are pickup artists that do teach men that. However, what I am saying is that this is a learned behavior over the course of time and over the course of men meeting women and growing relationships with them and understanding how to appeal to what they want. Because at the end of the day, if he wants to access you, he has to be able to appeal to what you want if he wants something from you. He's not going to come out and tell you exactly what that is that he wants from you, but he's going to do his best to make it seem like you guys are on the same page and that he's aligned with you. And by the time he has lustful interest in you instead of real romantic interest in you, what's going to happen is his desire to get that access to you is the only reason he's showing you that much romantic interest, what you perceive as romantic interest. And as time goes on, it becomes increasingly harder and more painful to keep up the facade of the romantic interest. I need you to, okay, so this is where I want you to be paying attention, because I need you to understand that while it might seem really devious and really, manipulative that the men are showing you fake romantic interest when it's actually lustful interest, I need you to understand this key element here, is that this period of faking the romantic interest and that's hidden really by lustful interest can only last for so long. What I mean by that is, as time goes on, it becomes increasingly, this is like the graph here, okay? We're in math class, right? It becomes increasingly more and more painful, exponentially more painful as time goes on, to continue keeping up the same facade that he's romantically interested in you while he's not actually receiving the satisfaction of being with you, okay? Because remember, this is a facade, right, put on to get to the end goal of sleeping with you. So the longer that this goes on, that he's putting on this facade and he's not sleeping with you, this becomes increasingly more and more frustrating. This is where the graph comes in, right? This is an exponential graph because it's going like this. And as time goes on, the more he has to continue putting on the facade, the more pain he's in. And I'm not talking about physical pain. The pain I'm referring to is the emotional pain of having to fake your personality, pretend to like you, pretend to laugh at your jokes, pretend to act as if, he wants to be with you so badly and wants to, run away to a land far, far away, right? This becomes increasingly painful and increasingly more of a burden on him because he gets tired of doing the same thing and faking his personality and faking everything about him and faking everything about this relationship so that he can sleep with you, which is why you'll notice that whenever a guy has lustful interest in you, he pours it on thick at the very beginning. He's trying to hammer it home. I love you so much and you're so amazing and everything is so awesome. Don't you want to sleep with me? Don't you want to be with me for the rest of your life? And and you're thinking to yourself, wait, I just met you. Can you take a chill pill? No, I don't want to take a chill pill. I just think you're so amazing. You're like a Disney princess. It's like you're Rapunzel and your hair just fell down from the sky. You're like an angelic figure. And you're like, you don't even know anything about me. How can you possibly say any of that or know any of that to be true? No, I just know that it's true because I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my bones. You're connecting to me from a higher power. It's a spiritual experience being around you. And you're just thinking to yourself, I mean, I guess. And you convince yourself, I mean, I guess I'm amazing. He tells me I'm amazing, so maybe I'm actually amazing. Maybe he sees my amazing awesomeness, seductiveness, and how awesome I am, that he finally realizes that, and that's what's making him, say these things, right? And then you convince yourself that, I guess if he's so adamant about it, then it must be true, okay? But in reality, he's pouring it on thick like that so that this process can get over with quickly and efficiently, okay? And you'll start to notice guys get irritated, agitated when time is passing by, and he's thinking to himself, I thought this was only going to take one date. I'm on a second date with her. And you start, see, this is the thing that you'll start noticing when there's a difference in the interest that you thought he was showing you and what he actually means in showing you. You'll start to notice cracks. It's like a dam, right? It's like a dam of water, and this dam of water is being held by a material that can't actually hold this amount and volume of water. So what's going to happen is, while you might build the dam initially and the water might hold for that dam, it's not supposed to hold forever. Okay, the material's not strong enough to hold that water in forever. So what you're going to notice is, after a while, there's just going to be one tiny crack, just the smallest crack. The crack is going to be like less than a centimeter, and you're just going to see a little bit of water just spritz out. Just a little bit of water, just a tiny little bit. It's just sprinkling out, and you're like, it's nothing. Just a little bit of water. You can barely even notice it, right? And then 2 months is going to go by, and then another crack's going to come, and that crack's going to be a little bit bigger. Right? And that crack's going to be, now it's like a whole fountain of water. Okay, now we got a fountain of water, but it's okay. This dam's holding back damn near a whole lake. Who cares? But then after a while, each individual crack gets bigger and bigger and bigger until, boom, the entire dam busts wide open. Like he wants you to bust wide open, the dam busts wide open, right? And the same thing, the analogy is, it's the same thing with his personality. As time is going on in the relationship, you're going to realize, as time is passing, as you're not sleeping with him or not giving him anything or not allowing him to have that satisfaction of being with you, you're going to start to notice cracks in that personality. So what was once, I fell in love with you at first sight. As soon as I laid my eyes on you, I knew how amazing you are. As soon as I laid my eyes on you, I knew that there was no other woman in this possible world that could ever be as more pretty and more beautiful and more extravagant and more luscious than you, right? And you're going to notice, as time goes on, you start to notice different parts of his personality that isn't aligned with that. Now he's getting a little bit irritated. Now he's getting a little bit agitated. Now he's being a little bit disrespectful. Right? And all of these little things happen that clue you into the fact that this is a facade. This is not actual romantic interest. This is romantic interest, right, that is being faked and hidden, right, used to hide the lustful interest, which is why I want you to understand there's two different types of interest, okay? And a lot of times, guys are going to be showing you lustful interest, right? Whether directly or indirectly, but you're going to feel like this is romantic interest. It's the same reason why guys are looking at girls' bikini pictures on IG and messaging them and commenting on their pictures and liking all their pictures. I know that you think that that's the same interest as the interest that you want from men, but I want you to understand that those are two completely different types of interests. They might feel the same, or you might receive them as the same, but I want you to understand what the guys are actually giving you is two separate types of interest, okay? So that's very important to understanding why men are going to show interest and then disappear, because there's different types. So that was number one. Now, number two, you need to understand part of the reason men are going to show interest and then disappear And those of you who have been part of the Players Club for a while know this terminology, and you can explain it to the people who are new. Some men are what we call in the Players Club microwave men. Now, what I mean for those of you who are new and you don't know what microwave men are, right? Microwave men are men who want things quickly, efficiently, and painless when it comes to relationships. So they want you to do a lot for them without them giving you a lot, without giving a lot in return. And they want you to do it very quickly. Even more than just sleeping with you, they want you to give them girlfriend treatment as well without them doing much for you. They want that very quickly, they want that very easily, and they don't want to put a lot of work in to get that. The reason we call them microwave men is because the same way when you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time chefing up on the stove, adding this ingredient, adding paprika, adding salt, adding vinegar, doing all this stuff, mixing this, cooking the chicken, preparing this, right? And you just pop something in the microwave to make it clean, easy, and simple in terms of getting your meal. This is the reason why we call them microwave men, because it's the same thing with the men. They want it quick, easy, and simple. They don't want to spend a lot of time prepping. They don't want to spend a lot of time adding ingredients. They don't want to spend a lot of time tasting the food and going back and adding things and taking away things and perfecting the recipe. No, they want to pop it in the microwave. They want to pop you in the microwave. They want to set it on a timer for 2 minutes, and they want you to be hot and ready for them as soon as possible, while he gets to lay back, relax, and do nothing. So part of the reason that men are going to show you interest and then disappear is because, like I mentioned to you earlier, this process, this graph of things getting exponentially more painful to continue on in this relationship when he's not really here to build anything with you is going on. And as time is passing, he's saying to himself, I'm only here to get exactly what I want. I'm not here to put in any sort of effort. So the longer that this is going on and I'm not receiving what I want, which is being able to sleep with you and also get access to you like they would a girlfriend, because that's also what some men are looking for as well, right? They just want that full and utter access to you, undenied access to you at all times of the day and night, as quickly as possible for absolutely nothing. Which is why I say to avoid dating apps, because majority of the microwave men that you're going to meet exist on dating apps. Why? Because the preface of dating apps actually serves microwave men the best. Microwave men who don't want to do anything difficult in order to get access to women go on dating apps because it's the easiest way to access women. If men didn't have dating apps and they actually wanted to meet women or talk to women or get women that they could sleep with, they'd have to get up out of their bed. They'd have to put on some nice pants. They'd have to wipe the nut stains off of their pants, right? They'd have to put on a nice shirt, go get a haircut, shave, go out to the club, put some cologne on, right? Go find a nice girl, go up to her, talk to her, have an interesting conversation, be funny, be witty, be charming, right? And then get her number on the spot. And the challenge still isn't over, because he's got to message her. He's got to set up a meetup with her. And then he's got to finally be able to sleep with her. Or if he's lucky, he does that in that night. But I just say that to say, even the players at that point before they had dating apps, even the microwave men, they had to come to the realization that my only option to get access to women is to go through the process of going out and meeting women and accessing them. Now, those same microwave men say to themselves, why the hell would I get up out of my bed and wipe the crust stains off of my pants, right? Wipe the nut stains off of my pants and actually go speak to a girl where I have to be interesting, enticing, and seductive and all that good stuff. Why not just open up my dating app, open up Hinge, open up Bumble, open up Tinder, and I literally have thousands of women at my fingertips that I can swipe left or swipe right on. And I don't even have to get out of my nut-stained boxers. I can literally sit here and do that. And you know what's even better for those microwave men, right? Is that the process of them being interesting to you, interesting enough to get your number and meet up with you, doesn't even require them to actually be interesting. Let me let you in on a little bit of a secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. This is our little secret. There's a whole nother side of the internet. And trust me, I've been there, so I actually know this to be real. There's a whole nother side of the internet where men are actually teaching other men how to get women on dating apps. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's not that bad. It's just helping them, the same way you're giving us game, the same way they're giving them game. Let me be more specific. The men are helping other men by telling them this is the most likely bio that will get responded to. These are the most likely type of prompts that will get responded to. They will literally teach these men, if you put this in your bio or you put this in your Hinge prompt, this will get responses from women and you'll be winning. And you'll get the most access to and get the most people swiping right on you because you trigger their curiosity, because you say this, because you say that. And it's basically tips and tricks to the point where they say, just copy exactly what I do. Write this down in your bio, put this down in your prompt, say this and say that. Right? And they even teach each other. I'm telling you because I've watched these videos. These actually exist on the internet and they're plentiful. And they even teach each other, make these your pictures. So for example, one of the main things that guys will teach each other is when you're going on dating profiles, make sure that your picture has to do with an animal or a dog. It's really good because a lot of people love dogs. So if you can have your dog in your main profile picture when people swipe on you, girls that don't even find you necessarily attractive might swipe on you simply because they like your dog, right? And they're literally teaching each other, make this your first picture, make this your second picture, make this your third, make this your fourth, right? And so they add the pictures, they got the prompt, and then you're probably thinking, okay, well, at least by the time I message him, at least I'm getting to know him. No. The craziest part is for the microwave men that are really good at this and that want to do as little as possible, they go online and they learn they don't even have to be themselves when they message you. Why? Because the men online are also teaching them this is exactly the first line you should use when you message that woman after she responds to your prompt or after she likes your profile or after you guys match. I know this is scary. And then they literally go through line by line by line what you say as the intro, right? What you then go into next, what you go into next, what the most likely responses will be, what you go into next, all leading up to getting a number, right? Getting her off the app is what they say, getting her number, and then getting a date with her or a meet up and a hangout with her. And we all know what they're trying to meet up and hang out for. Let's be so for real. So I just say that to say that the microwave men have become so strategic with what they're doing online and especially with the dating apps that they've realized that the best way for them to get as many women as they possibly want is not by being themselves. It's about strategizing how they can be someone else that is interesting to you. And then eventually in the process of them being the most interesting version of someone else to you, you'll message them, talk to them, they'll get a date with you. They can eventually sleep with you because you believe that that's them and you believe that you guys are connecting and he's funny and interesting. He sleeps with you without actually having to do anything real or be anyone real. Part of the reason why the men are showing interest in you, you feel like he's interested in you, and then all of a sudden he disappears. A lot of times these guys are really faking their personality because they're a microwave men. They want it quick and easy. So they fake their personality, especially on these dating apps, because that's the easiest place to fake their personality. And then you believe that he's actually invested in you. You believe that he actually wants you. You believe that this is actually a relationship that's going somewhere, when in reality, he has literally faked that entire personality. He's faked that entire character and persona to be exactly what you felt you needed and wanted in that moment so that he could get the easiest access to you. Okay? I know that was like a horror story that I just went through for some of you, but I need to be real with you because that is the truth, right? That is the honest truth, that the men are strategic in the way that they go about getting, the way that they go about their prompts and the way that they go about, especially these dating apps, because they know that the better they are on these dating apps, and if they're strategic about that, how they present themselves, then they will get the access to you that they are desiring. Are you following me so far? Okay. Kai B says we are all going to be single. I don't want to scare you, but I do want to be honest with you, especially because I know a lot of you are in love with the dating apps and you're thinking to yourself, the dating app is the best place to meet people. And you're wondering why I'm always yelling at you saying, get off the dating app, get off the dating app, go outside, step outside of your house, touch grass, just stay away from the dating app. Because I know the type of men you're going to meet on the dating app. I know the mindset they have, and I know the strategy that they're using. Okay. And I know how it doesn't help you get to anywhere that I know you're trying to go. Okay. Right. Someone says, repeat that, please. It's available. I'm live on YouTube as well. So you can just rewind it if you go on my YouTube, because I'm live there simultaneously, and you can watch it on YouTube and you can rewind it. So don't worry. It's always available there. Right. So number one was the 2 types of interest. Number 2 is the fact that he's a microwave man. So if he wants things very easily and quickly, he's going to be strategizing how to do that easily, quickly, without a lot of effort put in. Then that's an easy way for you to get duped and feel like, oh, this is my moment, or you're actually interested when he's not actually interested. Okay. Right. So that was number 2. Number 3, this is one that's going to be probably painful for you, for a lot of you to hear. But number 3 is the fact that you are a shiny new toy. Now, let's be very clear on something. Men have this, I guess you could call it character flaw, character trait, where a lot of them tend to be the most interested in whoever is the shiny new toy. To the point where there are a lot of men that actually can't help themselves and they're addicted to this. This is like an addiction. When I talk about the shiny new toy, what I really am referring to is the aspect that every girl that's brand new feels like the next best girl to him. So he gets super excited about any girl that is new. But in reality, he's not actually super excited about the girl and her personality. He's more excited about the fact that you are new. So when he comes across you for the first time, in the first 2 weeks, you're brand new. You're a shiny new toy. And so he gets all hyped up. He's like a dog. His tail's wagging, his tongue's out. He's so excited that you're brand new and he can't wait to play with you, literally and figuratively, and he can't wait to get some access to you. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, you're not as shiny and new anymore. You're kind of mundane. You're kind of regular. You're kind of there all the time. And then, randomly comes along a new girl that he meets when he goes out, or he meets in a friend group or whatever, at a bar, whatever. And now all of a sudden, she's the brand new, shiny new toy. And then he gets all excited to see her. And so a lot of times what happens is, in the process of him showing a lot of interest in you at the beginning, you're the shiny new toy. But then in the process of you being the shiny new toy, he plays with you for a bit. He gets some access to you. He's having his good time. And then after a while, you're not the shiny new toy anymore. You're just a toy now, and he still plays with you and he still has his good time and it's still fun. But then after a while, it's like, okay, you're the same old toy that I've been playing with. And then all of a sudden, a brand new, shiny new toy comes along with a big dump truck and some tight jeans, and she walks by and he's like, oh my God, I've never seen a dump truck like that. And his tail starts wagging and his tongue's out again. And then he starts chasing the brand new, shiny new toy. And so you get left in the dust, because then he disappears on you after you stop being the brand new, shiny new toy. Okay, I know this is painful, but I do want you to understand this is part of the reason why I tell you to pace yourself in relationships and pace him. Because the craziest part about this is, this doesn't really have anything to do with you. This has a lot to do with men and how they think, and the fact that you're not going to be protecting yourself if you just go along with the idea that, oh, we're both so excited to be in this relationship right now because it's brand new. You've got to be the one that's, I'm going to stay sane. I'm going to stay calm. I'm excited too, and I like you too, but I need to remember to myself that part of the reason you probably like me is because I'm shiny and new. So let's see what happens when I'm no longer shiny and new to you. Let's see how you treat me. Okay, you have to protect yourself and you have to be observant of the fact that when he meets you right at the beginning is when he's going to be the most excited for you, right? You need to you need to remember that and remember that information and calm yourself down and say, okay, I know I'm happy. I know I want this to work out, but let's see where things go. I'm going to pace myself. I'm not going to overreact, and I'm not going to be overly emotionally overwhelmed and just think that I should go along with it and mirror his excitement, because that's what a lot of guys are going to try to do, right? When you're the shiny new toy, they're going to try to get you and attempt to get you to mirror his excitement for the relationship, right, that he has for you, because it's going to make you feel guilty that, hey, if I'm trying to build with someone that's super excited to build with me really, really fast, and I'm not yet there emotionally, I feel like I need to emotionally catch up, right? I need to be on the same level as you. I need to have the same level of investment that you do. Because if I don't have the same level of investment that you do, then that means that, I'm doing bad. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I'm not here for the right reasons. I feel guilty, right? I feel like I owe you to like you as much as you like me. I feel like I owe you something, right? So guys are gonna, when you're the shiny new toy, you have to remember that time has to pass, right? Be patient. Take your time. You're doing this for you even more than you're doing it for him. You have to allow time to pass so that you can say to yourself, okay, when I'm not shiny and brand new, are you still excited about me and the relationship? Are you still consistent with me? Are you still saying things like you want me to be the wife and the mother of your children? Because if all of a sudden when I'm not shiny and new anymore, your excitement goes out the window. If all of a sudden when I'm not shiny and new anymore, you're no longer consistent. If all of a sudden when I'm not shiny and new anymore, you're no longer nice to me or friendly to me or giving me all that princess treatment that you were giving me at the very beginning, that is a clear telltale sign that the type of interest he's showing you is actually more lustful than it is based on his actual romantic interest in you. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? Rosie says, wait, is this why men like younger women, their naivety? I can't speak to exactly why all men like younger women, because there are some strange people out there, but definitely women being younger generally also means it's good for them for multiple reasons, but it also means that they're less experienced, not just, pineapple-y related, but also less experienced in relationships. So it's easier to get over on someone who is less experienced in relationships. You can play simpler tricks on them with less effort and less complexity because they're not familiar with those tricks. But those of you who join the Players Club are going to be familiar with those tricks, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay? Right? So when you're the shiny new toy, he's going to be super excited about you in the beginning, and he's going to get you excited as well. Okay? Because being the shiny new toy is going to really be exciting for him when you are brand new. And then as time goes on and you're no longer brand new, not gonna be as exciting anymore. Okay, so number one was the two types of interest. Number two was a microwave man. Number three was being a shiny new toy. Okay. Now, number four, this is stop pooping time. This is actually in Ivy's favorite time. This is stop pooping time. So if you're on the toilet and you're pooping, you suck your poop back in, you stop pooping, or if you're peeing, you stop peeing right now, cut it off. If you're washing dishes, stop washing dishes. If you're doing a set at the gym, stop your set and listen up, perk your ears up. It's time to pay attention because this part's really important. I'm so serious. Okay. A very, very prominent reason why men are going to show interest and disappear on you, I really want you paying attention now, is because of what I call pre-nut confusion. Okay, stay with me here. Number four, this is called pre-nut confusion. You know how we say post-nut clarity? This is pre-nut confusion. What I mean by pre-nut confusion is men are also going to easily be able to trick themselves into thinking that their desire for you is based on how much they want to be with you. Okay? See, it's not just men that are doing having all this diabolical behavior and doing all this planning and creating all this confusion. A lot of times also the men that you're dealing with are also confused in their own minds. I know this sounds crazy. They're confused in their own minds because their wires are crossed. They don't understand that I'm pursuing this girl simply because I'm physically attracted to her and there's a lot of blood flow to my lower extremities. Some men actually genuinely think in their mind, I'm pursuing you this heavily because I'm romantically interested in you. But they only realize that they're not romantically interested in you after they sleep with you and they're like, actually, now that I've slept with you, I don't feel this intense burning desire to pursue you or a relationship with you. And they come to the realization themselves that, actually, I don't think I want you as much as I thought I wanted you. I don't think I'm as excited for you in this relationship as much as I thought I was excited for you in this relationship. This is the very, very weird thing. And this is why I said I want you to be paying attention to this part, because this gets really weird and really strange. And it's not going to make sense to you because you're like, how can guys not know the difference between those two things? It's them, it's their feelings, it's their thoughts, it's their perspective. How do they not know what's true and what's a lie? Because the thing about it is, this is the weirdest part, is that when that blood flow is flowing to those lower extremities, it actually becomes difficult for some men to differentiate what feelings are based on my romantic interest in you and what feelings are based on my lustful interest in you. And some guys are so heavily lustfully interested in you that they actually convince themselves that this can only stem from romantic interest. But because they're not emotionally mature enough to understand that this isn't romantic interest, they project it onto you as if this is romantic interest. I just know that I like you so much because I just feel it. They don't even realize sometimes, and this is actually kind of sad, they're so emotionally stunted, they don't even realize that what they're presenting to you and the emotions that they're telling you that they feel aren't even actual real romantic emotions. Because they don't understand that this intense feeling I'm feeling is not the burning desire to be in a relationship with you. This intense feeling I'm feeling is my natural hunger to chase and pursue after a woman who I find physically attractive and to, have pineapples with her. Okay? And for some guys, a lot of guys, to be honest with you, they're so emotionally stunted, they can't differentiate between these two things. And so you, the more emotionally mature person who understands the wide range of emotions and joins the Players Club so you have a better understanding of this type of stuff, you take your time when you're meeting guys and dating them so that you can better differentiate, okay, what type of interest are you actually showing me? And are you even yourself confused about the type of interest that you're showing me? Because some guys will tell you how much they like you. And then when you ask them why they like you, they're scratching their head thinking, I just know that I like you. But they really genuinely believe that they really genuinely like you. They just don't know what they like about you. Because they don't realize they only like the fact that you have a massive dump truck and the fact that your jeans are so tight that they can see your dump truck busting up and down. Okay? And for some men, they don't even realize that that's the thing that they're hungry for. Okay? The reason I call it a hunger is I know a lot of you, when I relate guys a desire to be horned up and their desire to chase after you and pursue after you because they're horned up. When I relate it to hunger, a lot of you guys are like, but eating food and starving, that's life and death. How can you relate it to hunger? I want you to understand this is not a feeling and an emotion inside them that men can control. They're always going to be hungry to chase after getting access to more pineapples, right? It's a constant burning desire within them, whether they're celibate or not, whether they're abstinent or not. Okay. It's naturally existing inside them. And so the reason I say that is because as it's naturally existing inside them, some men don't understand. They're not self-aware enough within themselves to understand that what I'm feeling towards her is my natural hunger and desire to have pineapples with her. That's not a crime. Okay. But men get that confused within themselves and they think to themselves, oh, the hunger that I'm feeling towards her is because of my hunger to be in a relationship with her, is because of my hunger to make her my wife so early right now before I don't even need to know anything about her. I just know I want to whisk her to a land far, far away. And some of those men genuinely believe that. Which is why when you try to call some men out on faking it, or try to call some men out on playing you, or whatever it may be, right? Or being hot and cold, or being interested and then pulling away and withdrawing, they'll be like, no, I actually meant what I said. No, that's actually how I felt. No, I actually thought I was interested, but then I came to the realization after we slept together that I'm not that interested. And you'll be like, no, that was just you playing me. You're lying. But in reality, some of those men actually truly believed that they had real interest in you, right? Even though it wasn't, it was what we call pre-nut confusion, where they can't tell the difference between them having a hunger and desire to sleep with you versus having a hunger and desire to build a long-lasting relationship with you because you are who they want to be in a relationship with. And the reason it's pre-nut confusion is because it only gets realized what the real purpose of that hunger and desire was after he sleeps with you, which is when he gets post-nut clarity, right? When he gets post-nut clarity after sleeping with you finally, he then is able to have a clear enough mind to realize, oh, now that I've slept with you, I can feel within myself I don't have that same burning passion and desire to continue getting to know you. For some guys, that realization is instant as soon as he sleeps with you and busts his nut. For some guys, that realization happens after the third, fourth, or fifth time sleeping with you, where you become regular now and it's not a new interesting thing to sleep with you. And then he kind of, over time, his interest just kind of dwindles and dwindles and dwindles until one day he's just kind of like not interested in you whatsoever. And for some men, they don't even know that that is the reason why that has happened. Okay, that's part of the problem here, is that men are emotionally stunted, so they don't even realize what they're doing sometimes when they're doing it, which is why it's incumbent upon you to be smart enough to understand the different ways men are going to approach you and why they're going to be approaching you. So you can be the one to say, cool, and hold your horses. I'm going to wait until I identify why you're really here, what you're really about, and what your intentions really are. Until I can identify that, you will not be getting that full access to me. Okay? Lenelique says, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I would hope so, Lenelique. All right? That's what I want for all of you. I know that this is painful to hear for some of you, but I think that it will benefit you the most hearing this and being in pain, because it'll help you come to some realizations. Okay? Right? Reggie says, is this pre-nut confusion same as post-nut clarity? I'm glad you asked. Pre-nut confusion is the opposite of post-nut clarity, right? So I guess you could say they're the same because they have to do with the same thing, but they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum, because pre-nut confusion is the confusion he feels where he doesn't understand, am I hungry to be in a relationship with her, or am I just hungry to sleep with her? Which one is that burning desire within me, right? What is the actual burning desire stemming from? And the post-nut clarity is the realization of what that desire is. Because for some men, they are going to sleep with you and they're still going to have that burning. For some men, they're going to sleep with you. And after they sleep with you, after being invested in you, they're going to be like, I want this to work even more now. And I'm even more invested in you now. Okay? Not for all men, but for some men, they're going to realize that. And that could be the post-nut clarity as well. The clarity that it wasn't just about sleeping with you. I actually really love you and care for you, and this relationship actually really matters to me, and I really am invested in this. Okay, that can also be the post-nut clarity for some men as well. Okay, so number one was the two types of interest. Number two was the microwave men. Number three, the shiny new toy that you are. Okay, number four, post-nut confusion. And number five, we have projection. Now, this one is going to be painful. I don't want to hurt your feelings or make you feel bad, but I have to be real with you. Projection happens when men, see, we talked about shiny new toy and how men are really, really excited to see you and meet you when you're the shiny new toy, okay? And I mean like they're genuinely excited because you're brand new. Now, what happens is in the process of you being brand new, he doesn't know anything about you, right? He's only knows what you present of him, right? And especially because he doesn't know much about you, and because he has to learn a lot about you in the process of being in a relationship with you, what happens at the very beginning is because there's a huge gap in his knowledge and understanding of who you are, what your personality is, what you stand for, how you act, how you carry yourself, all of that context that he would get when he meets the whole human being over the course of time. See, the fact that he is devoid of all of that context of you and he doesn't know the whole you, what he does instead is he fills in those holes of your personality, right? He fills in that understanding of who you are based on his imagination, okay? So instead of him having the actual information of how you act, when you're sad, you're mad, how you carry yourself, how you talk, how you laugh at jokes, just the way that you are, the essence of your being. Instead of actually having that information as factual and knowing that to be true from experience, he goes by his imagination. So what do you think if you're a shiny new toy and he feels like he wants to like you? What do you think he's going to do with his imagination when he imagines what you're like? He's going to imagine you as the most perfect, amazing princess of a woman in all the land. He's going to imagine you that you make no mistakes, that you're absolutely perfect. You've got a 10 out of 10 dump truck, 10 out of 10 yitties, and a 10 out of 10 smile. You're 1,000 out of 10, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You don't do anything he doesn't like. You don't talk the way he doesn't like. You have no issues. You have no trauma. You have no baggage, no drama. Everything about you is amazing. Nothing about you is bad. He's going to convince himself that that's who you are. Why? Because he doesn't have the information of his experience with you to actually know who you are. But because it's the very beginning, he's convinced himself that I don't need to know who you actually are. I just feel it in my gut. Okay? It's actually not in his gut. It's in his lower extremities, right? But he'll just say, I just feel it. I just know it, right? You'll hear a lot of guys say, I can just tell that you have a beautiful personality. Doesn't really make sense. Come again? I just know. I can just sense that you're a caring, kind, loving person. I can sense how amazing of a person that you are. Again, one of those things that sounds good in a movie and it sounds good in a teen drama. So naturally, you're going to want to believe in it because it's you, right? It's you. It's you that someone's saying that to. So of course, you're going to want to believe that that is true. But in reality, nobody can just look at you and know that you have a great personality. That's not how that works. Okay? It's not how that works. And it's never been how that works. Now, people are going to try to get you to believe in that for whatever reason they might be trying to get you to believe in that. But I can assure you, people don't know anything about you until they actually experience that with you and gain a better understanding of you. Okay? So a lot of guys in the beginning are going to be projecting onto you this perfect, most amazing personality that they want you to have because that's their most perfect, amazing dream woman. And so they get really excited about you in the very beginning and show a lot of interest in you in the very beginning because they're so excited that you're absolutely perfect. Now, after 2, 3, 4 weeks, 3 months for some of you, for a lot of you, it's 3 months, guys come to the realization that you're not what he imagined you to be. Now, this actually isn't your fault because what he imagined you to be is someone who's absolutely perfect and makes no mistakes. The problem with that is none of us single human beings, including him, is ever going to be or ever has been perfect and devoid of mistakes. So because of that, he always ends up disappointed in the process of learning who you really are. He's disappointed in who you really are because his standard and expectation was that you would be absolutely perfect. And so anything that's not absolutely perfect is a disappointment, even if you're still amazing. Right? And that all stems from the projection he had of you and of what he thought you were like, and the fact that he thought you were perfect. And then in the process of knowing you and meeting you and learning more about you, he realized that you're not perfect. That's not really your fault that you're not perfect, though. Nobody is. But then when he realizes that you're not perfect, all of a sudden, he's like, I was excited for you in this relationship. I was excited to build with you, but, things have changed. I don't know what it was, but at the beginning, it was like really nice and you were super awesome and you were super amazing. And you're thinking to yourself, at the beginning, you didn't know me. And then he's like, but now it's just some things that you do, they rub me the wrong way. Some things that you say, they rub me the wrong way. And you're just not who I'm looking for. And then you're thinking to yourself, I'm just being myself. And then this is where this is where the most painful part comes in. Because you start to feel like you did something wrong. You start to feel like there's something wrong with you when you get the sense that after guys meet you after a while, that they become disappointed in you or disappointed in what they're meeting. And it's almost like you think maybe I'm doing something or saying something that is like turning them off or turning them away from me. That's leading to the same thing happening over and over again. When a lot of the times it's really just about the men projecting what they wanted you to be at the very beginning. They get excited because you're shiny and new, and because they can project that you're an amazing, awesome person without flaws. You're like Cinderella, right? They have their own dreams too. They have their own fantasies too. And they fantasize about the idea that you're the absolute perfect woman devoid of mistakes. Then when they realize that you're not, they're disappointed in that. And then it feels to you, because this is how you receive it, it feels to you like they're disappointed in you. So you feel like a disappointing person. Then you start looking within yourself and thinking, how can I stop being so disappointing to these men? Then you turn into a pick-me-sha, because you hop right into your next relationship thinking to yourself right from the beginning, how can I do more so that I don't disappoint you? How can I get you to pick me? How can I get you to want me? And just that fast, you have put on your maid outfit and you've gotten on your hands and knees and you got your sponge out and now you're scrubbing the floor. Okay? You're scrubbing the floor, hoping that he'll notice that you can shine the floor squeaky clean, and he'll notice how squeaky clean you shine the floor and how good you can be a nice little maid, right? That he will eventually pick you and want to be in a relationship with you. It never works out. Okay? Someone said death by pick-me-sha, 100,000%. It's exactly that. Okay? We don't want that for you. So, number 1 was the 2 types of interest. Number 2 was microwave men. Number 3, shiny new toy. Pre-nut confusion was number 4. Projection, number 5. Number 6 is cheap thrills. Okay? So what's going to happen is, as men, this one's also going to be painful, so just buckle up. Okay? I want you to listen though, but buckle up. It is going to be painful. You have to understand that when men meet you, simple as it is, a lot of them are looking for cheap thrills. Okay? So they just want to chill. They just want to relax. They just want to have minimal effort put into you and sleep with you. Just that simple. Okay? So when he acts interested and he's actually not, it's because he wants cheap thrills. It's very similar to the microwave men. Okay? Right? In the sense that they just want it quick and easy. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to put in a lot of effort for it. They just want the cheap thrill of being with you in a way that doesn't require a lot of effort. Now, here's the really sneaky part. Okay? Here's the really sneaky part that I want you to be paying attention to about cheap thrills. Is that some men come to the realization that the best way to get cheap thrills is by giving you what you want in a way that doesn't require them to do a lot. It's very, okay, I know that you might be like, what are you talking about? So I know we talked about the emotional sense, and I know we talked about how guys are going to try to appeal to what you're interested in. Okay? So the other thing is guys are going to attempt to also make you feel like they are showing their interest in you in a way that feels valuable, but is actually cheap. It's kind of like he buys you a fake diamond and then he proposes to you like, I bought you the most expensive diamond in the world, and I went to the farthest cliff in the farthest hill, and I dug in a mine for 3 years and three decades trying to find you the perfect diamond. I came back, I paid $1 million for it, and I'm proposing to you with the biggest diamond on earth that cost me $1 million. Meanwhile, he only got you a fake diamond. Okay? So the reason I say cheap thrills is because guys know if they can be strategic about presenting themselves to you in a way where they seem interested enough in you that you take it as real interest, without them actually having to spend real money and real effort on you, then that works for them because they can then, the same way, get access to you without actually having to do a lot for you. Okay, this is actually part of the reason why someone like Shira tells you that you should get men to financially invest in you, because men are looking for cheap thrills. They want to be able to extract something from you while giving you as minimal effort and money as possible. Now, I don't necessarily focus a lot on the money aspect. I focus on the emotional aspect because I also think that's a form of investment. So guys don't want to invest a lot in you, whether it be financially or emotionally, but they want to invest just enough that you feel like this is going somewhere. So some guys might do something, let's not even focus on the financial. Let's focus on the emotional for this example. Some guys might do something in terms of cheap thrills, and you might not notice it, like they might just sit on a date with you and only agree with you. So everything you say about, I just want a guy who will build with me and be straight with me and be honest with me about how he feels and all that good stuff. He just says, yeah, I 100% agree. I'm looking for something serious too. So serious. I just can't stand when people aren't serious. I really, really, really want a serious relationship. There's nothing more than I want than to build a serious relationship. And he's going to tell you how serious he wants this to be. Okay. And in the process of that, he's going to agree with everything you say, every stance you take, every opinion that you have, because he wants to make you feel like you guys are on the same page, right? What's also going to happen is he is not going to be sharing a lot about himself, his views, his opinions, and his perspective. Why? Because he wants to keep the focus on you, and he doesn't want to share or divulge in any real information about himself that you would make the determination that maybe you're not who I'm looking for. Maybe we aren't on the same page. Maybe we aren't aligned emotionally or mentally, right? And the thing about it is, guys are purposely going to avoid emotionally investing in you, meaning they're going to avoid telling you things about their past. They're going to avoid telling you things about their family or their friends. They're going to avoid talking about anything deep with you. You can share. You can talk about yourself. They're not going to talk about anything deep. They're not going to share with you anything real. And see, the thing about it is, some of you have been tricked by these cheap thrills, because some of the men are doing such a good job getting you to yap. Right? And you love yapping. You love talking about yourself. You love sharing. They get you to yap and they don't share anything about themselves. They don't talk about themselves. They don't talk about their feelings. They're not at all emotionally invested in you. Right? But they do a good job of making you feel like they're emotionally invested in you. Just chatting words. But they're not actually sharing anything real with you. And remember, I told you before, some people will talk about financial investment, but I also think it's vitally important and even more important when it comes to the men to get them emotionally invested in you. Get them talking about their traumas. Get them talking about their needs. Get them talking about the things in their life that they don't like. Get them talking about their abandonment issues. Get them talking about everything that they would never talk about with their guy friends, with their family, with their brothers, with their sisters. Get them emotionally vulnerable, because when he's emotionally vulnerable to you, that is investment. When he pours himself out into you, that is investment. So when he is investing in you like that emotionally, it makes it that much more painful to have you walk away from him. Okay? And some guys are just looking for cheap thrills where they don't actually have to really invest in you in order to extract from you. And in some cases, it's not even just about sleeping with you. Some guys just want the access to you, just want the companionship, just want you to be there in a way that doesn't really require them to invest in you. And some of them are just looking for that because they want that sense of confidence in themselves to feel like, yeah, you're invested in me. Yeah, you're committed to me. Yeah, you want me. And they just want the cheap thrill of knowing that someone wants them so that they can build their confidence up and go chase after the girl that they really want, which is why you think that that's real interest, but it's not actually real interest. And he's just using that interest, right? He's using that relationship to build himself up, build his confidence up, and then he disappears when he doesn't need that interest or he doesn't need that relationship anymore. That makes sense? Okay. Real Life Topic says, donates $3. She says, no lies detected. You break this down perfectly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Does that make sense? Someone says, which one is true? This is part of joining the Players Club, is that you start to learn the strategies that we talk about we talk about these strategies a lot on how to determine what's the truth versus what is fiction. Okay. Because it's not everything is going to be fiction, but also not everything is going to be the truth. Now there's a strategy to be able to determine that. And that's how I come into your life. Okay. Now, so that number one was the 2 types of interest. Number 2 was the microwave man. The shiny new toy was number 3, pre-nut confusion. Number 4, that's a funny one. Number 5 is projection. Number 6 was cheap thrills. And number 7, number 7 is a great one. And honestly, probably the most important one. So please pay attention. Okay. Number 7 is the bait and switch. Okay. This is going to suck. So just buckle up. The bait and switch will come because men are smart. They know if they meet a woman who is looking for validation and looking for a sense of their own self-worth through me, the man, if I come to her at the beginning and I make it look as if I'm super hyper interested in her at the very beginning, that's going to feel like a drug. Okay, I'm so serious, right? For those of you who really enjoy validation, it's going to feel like a drug when a man comes along in your life and validates you on a level you never even thought possible. You're going to take a whiff of it. Oh, you're validating me. This feels so good, right? And you're going to be over the moon. You're going to feel like you're going to feel in ways that you never thought you could possibly feel ever before. This is going to feel like something out of a dream. You're going to feel like you're living in a fantasy, the way that he is validating you, complimenting you, telling you you're beautiful, telling you how amazing and smart and intelligent you are, telling you how deserving you are of love, telling you how much he wants to build this with you and be here forever with you and all that good stuff, even though it's only been 2 weeks, but telling you how much amazingness he wants to give you and how much love he wants to pour into you. And then he takes that away. Okay? He takes that away. Because the bait and switch is going to allow him to have you chasing after him. Why? Because when he makes you feel so validated, when he makes you feel so desired, when he makes you feel like you are the most important woman on this earth, and then he takes that interest away, you are left void. When you are left void like that, you then start seeking to get that feeling back. Remember, I told you it's like a drug. So when you get addicted to that and he takes that drug away from you, now you feel like you need to get that back. You need to do whatever is necessary to get that same level of interest that he once had in you back. So what do? You start chasing and pursuing after him. You're not necessarily chasing him, but you're chasing the feeling of having him be interested in you once again. And so because you're chasing the feeling of having him be interested in you once again, you get on your hands and knees, you put your maid outfit on, and you start scrubbing that floor squeaky clean while you look up at him and beg him to see you and notice you. Right? And the thing about it is, once you're in that position, he has won. Because the whole purpose of the bait and switch, right, which is why he shows the interest in you and then disappears, is that you will eventually begin chasing after him. And you will eventually become the man, essentially. You'll be the pursuer. You'll be the one pushing this relationship forward. You'll be the one scheduling the dates. You'll be the one taking him out. You'll be the one making sure he's good. You'll be the one making sure he's taken care of, right? You'll be the one giving him princess treatment. Okay? And it works out in his favor because not only does he have access to you, but he actively has you doing the most that you possibly can in this relationship without him having to lift a finger. So not only does he put in zero effort, but he actually receives a lot of effort from you while actively giving you nothing. And the bait and switch is a very great way for him to do that, especially if you're someone who desperately needs validation from a man. It's the exact reason why I tell you to work on you if you're someone who desperately needs validation from a man. Because when a man has that much power over you, that simply him giving you validation can make you feel good about yourself and your self-worth, or make you feel horrible about yourself and self-worth, that translates to control. And when the men can control you through their validation of you, well, then they can take advantage of you. And so the bait and switch ends up being a great strategy for them to get what they want without doing anything for you, which is why they show interest in you and then they disappear, because they're hoping that you'll be in such a down bad place in your life and emotionally when they disappear that you'll then begin chasing after him, and he has won. I told you, this is a war. This is a war of power, and he has won once you start chasing after him, and specifically chasing after that validation that he has of you. Okay? Jojo says, how do we spot all of these? You listen to the show. And as you listen to the show, you'll learn more and more. Watch every episode. Okay? I'm so serious. Okay? So do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed in these 7 points? Okay? So I'm going to recap them. They were the 2 types of interest. They were microwave men, the shiny new toy, pre-nut confusion, projection, cheap thrills, and then the bait and switch. Okay? Right? Now, for those of you who are like, please, can you repeat all the points? Can you summarize them? I want to see them. They're all available on my YouTube page because I'm live on YouTube the same time that I'm live on TikTok. So don't you worry. You can rewind it there. My YouTube is my name. It's right above my head on the right side of the screen by the YouTube logo. Okay. So I think of everything for all of you. Okay. Are you guys understanding of what we talked about? Okay. Right. Alicia says, I just can't believe that some people would be so evil. See, here's the thing. Like, I want you to understand, I don't want to say these things and talk about these things to scare you. I want to say these things to help you come to a realization of how they're happening and why they're happening so that you can be more skeptical and aware in your relationships. I don't want you to be a pessimist, but I do want you to be more skeptical when people just come out and tell you, hey, I want you to believe everything I tell you. I want you to believe that this is your moment and you're in a Disney princess story, right? They're going to, of course, want you to believe in whatever it is they have to tell you, because the easier it is to get you to believe in something, the easier it is to manipulate you. And people are going to manipulate you, let's be for real, to get what they want from you. Okay? You have to understand that in this world, there are those who do the manipulating and there are those who get manipulated. Part of joining the Players Club is understanding how you can be the one doing the manipulating and controlling and not the one being controlled and manipulated. Okay? Right? And so in terms of the question, why do the guys do this? It's simply because they want to get what they want. Okay? It's as selfish and as simple as that. They want what they want. So if you're someone that can give them what they want without them doing anything for you, and you're offering that, they will take that from you. I don't know how else to say it in a nicer way. Okay? Right? Elusive says, what if he warns you that he disappears and it's a pattern, and then he comes back? If he warns you that he disappears and then he does it, I mean, at least he's honest. But at the end of the day, you can't do anything with a man who's going to disappear on you and then come back every now and again, because that's inconsistency. So whether or not he tells you ahead of time that he's going to be inconsistent, that doesn't make it any better that he's inconsistent. You understand what I'm saying? Deb says, path of least resistance, stay awake. 100%. You have to be aware that guys are always going to be seeking the path of least resistance. Not necessarily because they don't like you or they don't want to invest in you, but if they can get you easier than putting a lot of effort into you, then they'll take you easier than putting a lot of effort into you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's your job to pace him. It's your job to set the standards and expectations. It's your job to set the boundaries where you say, if you really want me, you're going to have to show me something. You're going to have to do your backflips, do your front flips, do these somersaults, and show me how much you want this. If you're not prepared to do something hard and show me what you got, someone else will gladly take your spot. Okay? ABC says, I think Shira said men lie because they don't have the upper hand. Women do. They lie their way to get women to reproduce and please them. I actually think that that's partially true, okay? Because they want something from you. That's why I try to, whenever I say do nothing, I say it because I want you all to never forget that the position you're in as a woman, I'm just talking about straight heterosexual relationships. The position you're in as a woman, when men come to you, they're seeking you out. They want to get to know you. They want to be with you. They want to make you their wife or their girlfriend or whatever. So that automatically means that you're actually in a position of power, because if he wants something from you, you get to control what you must offer me if you want me. You understand what I'm saying? What you must show me if you want me, what you must do for me if you want me. But a lot of you get confused. I don't know whether it be because of this day and age or because of what you get preached, or maybe a combination of things. A lot of you get confused thinking that him approaching you, right, then means that then you should chase after him, or that you in your regular everyday life, you should be chasing after the men that you want. No, please never do that. Please never do that. Okay? Please never start chasing after the men that you want. There's nothing wrong with wanting men, but you be more strategic and you allow those men that you want to notice you and then come after you, because that's when you'll be seeing the natural occurrence of things where you can be in your feminine and not be on this mad dash trying to give princess treatment to the men you're in a relationship with. Don't make a damn bit of sense. Okay? All right. With that being said, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Tell me in the chat what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Tell me in the chat what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Tell me in the chat what time it is. Do you know what time it is? It's a great time. It's an awesome time. It's an awesome time. Tell me what time it is. Tell me what time it is. And yeah, tell me what time it is. Y'all tell me what time it is. Y'all tell me what now. Y'all tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Tell me in the chat. Tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Tell me in the chat. Just say it. Just say it. Just say what time it is. Just say it. Just say it. Just say what time it is. I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time it is. I want to know in the chat what time it is. I want to know in the chat what time it is. It's score time. Yeah. let's hop right into the Discord, guys. You know how we do this thing. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, in the Discord, this is the opportunity for all the Players Club members to ask their questions of me about their relationships and their situationships in the Discord, our Discord, the Players Club Discord, and I answer them live on the show. So if you want to send in your question in the Discord and get me to answer it live on the show, and you're on TikTok, just go over to the link in the bio on my main profile. And if you're on YouTube, just go over to the link in the description, or if you're here watching live, it's in the pinned top comment there. Okay, before we get started off here, let's acknowledge a donation by Elusive. Elusive says, donates $5. She says, valuable content, brother. My eyes are wide open now. I've been sleeping. It's Discord time. Okay, you happy too? I'm happy too. Thank you for the donation. Let's get started with N here, okay? Or Nawe, sorry. Okay, Nawe says, thanks, Tom, for reading and great advice on my question, Yappers Are Us. You're right. I'm going to just do that and clarify. My dude is a software engineer, LOL, and owns several properties. Yes, I've been to the office parties and I know his income. He's the highest and fastest promoted engineer at the corporation. So yeah, he has time to text all day, but he has time to text all day because he's just coding. I would never date a broke man, please. I'd also never date a man, I'd also never give a man a dime, not in this life or the next. Thanks. Okay, thank you guys for that. You guys have to be following along with every episode because you're not going to be familiar on some of the questions or follow-up statements after that, okay? So you got to make sure you're following along with every episode. So next we have here, let's see. Oh my goodness, we have so many to do. So many to do. By the way, guys, this Saturday, I'm going to be doing a special live stream that is only Discord questions this Saturday. So just keep that in mind too, because I'm going to clear out a lot of these Discord questions. I know we have a lot. So Sahara says, like the desert, I like it. Sahara says, Japanese guy, I don't know. Okay. Part 1. Hi, Tom. I need some urgent advice because I don't know what to do. An apology in advance because English is not my first language. Okay, that's fine. I met a Japanese guy. I'm 32 and he's 30 on Bumble. Nice. Bumble. Okay. In January, I know what you're going to think. Yeah, you should. You should. But at the same time, I wasn't looking for a serious relationship. Why would you get on Bumble then? Confused. Tommy confused. From the beginning, he showed a lot of interest and asked me questions about whether he wanted to have children, or sorry, whether, I guess you meant to say, he asked you questions about whether you wanted to have children, how he saw me in the next 5 years, etc. Something like future faking, okay? Which made me distance myself, even though I really liked him. Plus, he was going to return to Japan because he was only on vacation in my country for 2 months. He was continuing to visit a friend of his that he met on a previous trip, okay? We had 3 dates in which he behaved well. We laughed a lot. We just kissed and no pineapples. Perfectly fine, okay? He told me that he was going to another city near where we were the next week and that we wouldn't see each other that weekend, to which I assumed we wouldn't be texting, and I also assumed that he would be meeting other girls besides me. Okay, so I also decided to continue dating other guys. All right. To my surprise, he stayed in contact with me the entire time he was in the other city. We even texted each other in the early morning, which made me think he was interested in me. Okay. By the way, your English is better than most people who speak English and type like, I don't know what in the chat. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Congratulations to you. You speak better English there, or you type better English than most people. Okay. When he returned to the city where I am, he didn't tell me. He began to pull back. I think he met another girl in the same city he met me. I sent him a message asking if we could just be friends, to which he replied, yes. We continued texting and continued showing romantic interest in me. Sorry, he continued showing romantic interest in me by messaging me, to which I was a little more indifferent. When he returned to the city where I am, I told him if we could have at least one date to say goodbye and wish him the best in person, to which he accepted, and we set the date in 2 days. Okay, there's nothing, I don't see any red flags or anything wrong here. Okay. Part two, before we saw each other, we had an argument via text. He even tried to call me, but I didn't answer. After that, I unfriended him on IG. Why? I mean, if you have a fight, I mean, it's just the getting in a fight and then unfriending someone or unfollowing them is very childish unless you're actually done with the situation. It just feels very childish. After that, I unfriended him on IG. My account is private and we didn't talk for a few days. He wrote to me later to offer me an apology in the message and sent me a friend request. We talked, and after that, I told him I had a trip planned in a few days, but I didn't tell him where because he didn't tell me many things about himself. Okay. He told me the same day that he would leave back to Japan, but he didn't say anything about us seeing each other for the last time. To which I didn't say anything either, and I went on my trip knowing that when I returned, he would no longer be in my city. But he went to my city where I was in the last days of his trip to my country. Although he didn't mention anything about seeing each other, now he is back in Japan. He texts me frequently. He sends me funny TikToks and sad emojis telling me that he misses me, to which I ghost, but he keeps sending messages. I have a trip planned to Japan in 2025, but I honestly don't want to see him there and have it ruin my trip. Although I want to keep in touch with him because there are not many Japanese who know how to speak English, which I think can be a great help, but it doesn't help me to forget it and close the cycle. Should I block or remove him off my IG? I know that our interaction was not important to him. Wow. If you believe that, then that's the answer to your question. But for me, it was, and it hurts because I miss him so much. And I think about the possibility of seeing him again. Okay. So Sahara, to answer your question here, I honestly think that in this situation, while he might have said he was interested in you, I just don't think that he was as compelled to see you as someone should be who was actually invested in building a relationship with you. Because like you said, when he had the opportunity to see you, right, in the last few days of your trip, he didn't mention anything. He just couldn't take initiative. You know what I mean? And especially, like I say, especially if your relationship is basically long distance, right? Then that should mean whenever you guys get the opportunity to be with each other in person or to be around each other, if he really has true interest in you, he should be taking that in a heartbeat if he really has that much interest in you. And if he's not, then that tells you something in itself, because that's the action he's taking based on what he actually feels inside. And so I say that to say that is a clue into how he really feels about you. If he can be in your city and then not mention anything to you, and then all of a sudden when you're not in his city anymore and you guys aren't with each other anymore, now he's messaging you all the time and sending you silly messages and stuff like that. You said you ghost his messages. That's because he's probably more interested in being a pen pal and less interested in doing anything hard that requires to see you. Some guys also have what I would call stage fright, where it's like by the time it comes to actually seeing you and meeting you in person, they get stage fright to actually start building a real connection in three-dimensional space. But like, it's like over message, they're super bold, they're super outgoing, they're super ready to be in this relationship with you. But as soon as you start talking about meeting up in person, they get nervous or they start making excuses. That's one of those things that happens when you're dating a pen pal, right? Or you're in a relationship with a pen pal, is a lot of times those pen pal men especially have stage fright. And that's the reason that they're your pen pal, because they have too much stage fright to actually meet you in person. And if you start, like, if there ever is an accidental time where you have an opportunity to see each other in person, they start getting nervous. Okay. It doesn't help you, because what are you going to do with that? A man who's too nervous to see you in person is a waste of your time. So I say that to say, I think this situation and this man is a waste of your time, because if he can be in the same city as you and not make any effort to see you and then go back to where he was or where he's from and then start messaging you how much he misses you, brother, you don't actually miss me that much. If you did, you would have made the effort to see me when you were literally in the same city as me. So it sounds like a guy that has stage fright and is only interested in being a pen pal. Waste of your time, Sahara. Don't waste your time. Okay. I know that's painful, but don't waste your time, because you can't, you can't force him to try to see you and spend time with you. You're just only going to end up frustrated. Okay. Next here we have, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Next is onesies. I think I did a onesies before. Okay. A question about commitment. Okay. Onesie says, "Hi, Thompson. Sometimes guys cannot talk about their feelings and have difficulty verbalizing exactly what they want, especially when they clearly do want a relationship with you, but there is fear or other issues, or he says he's not ready." Okay, I need this to be very understood, okay, by onesies and all of you. If a man is not showing you that he's ready for a relationship, ignore all of his words, okay? Listen, you should listen and watch his actions. So I say that because when you're saying when they clearly do want a relationship, how is that clear to you? That should only be clear to you based off of his actions. Because when you're saying, but there is fear of commitment or issues, he says he's not ready, then that just means he's not ready. Because if he was so compelled to be in a relationship with you, he would be ready. Do you understand how that works? Part of him wanting a relationship and being ready for a relationship is him being ready. Let's go on. Can you talk about how we should address this when the person is your friend and is clearly flirty with you? You don't address it. If he's a man and he wants you, he will come after you, and he should. If you're with a man that is so insecure and too timid to pursue you when it's clear that he finds you interesting, you don't even need to be entertaining that man because you can't do nothing with him. Unless you want to be the man and you want to be chasing and pursuing him and giving him princess treatment, you can't do anything with the man in terms of being able to be in a relationship where you're in your feminine. If you're thinking about how can I get a man who's flirty with me and clearly wants me to pursue me, you can't and you shouldn't. Because you're the woman. It's not your job to pursue him. It's his job to pursue you. How can you bring up that you want a commitment before they go there? Don't. You don't. You don't. Are you listening to me? It's not your job to bring up the fact that you want this to be a committed relationship. You let him bring that up to you because he wants you. Okay? And how do we do this while staying in our feminine? So I'll make this very easy for you. Right? You said, P.S. I think he's afraid of me because I practice what you teach. He kind of finds me intimidating. Great. This is how you do this. You give him nothing. And you also don't sleep with him. This is this foolproof strategy. Give him nothing, which means give him no girlfriend or wife treatment, and you don't sleep with him. Why? Because you leave him desiring more from you. You only give him just enough that he finds you interesting and fascinating, and he says to himself, I would love to get more and deeper, more intimate access to you. And you tell him, well, you're not going to be able to sleep with me just by talking to me casually. And then he says, well, damn, if the only way to get access to you is to be in a relationship with you, damn, I want to be in a relationship with you because I want you that badly. That's how you do that and stay in your feminine. You have to give him nothing, no wifey or girlfriend treatment, and you can't sleep with him. That way, he still has things that he desires more from you. And because he desires more from you, he then goes and that then motivates him and inspires him to say, I want to take our relationship to the next level and commit myself fully to you so that I can get full access from you. That's how you do that. Other than that, it's not by cooking him a nice dinner. It's not by getting on your hands and knees and scrubbing the floor. It's not by giving him a handy, and it's not by giving him a footy. None of those things will do that for you. You do nothing and you give him no access to your Squirtle. Very simple. Next here we have, let's see. Nay, like the horse. Oh, this is Enlighten. I can tell by your profile picture. I hope Enlighten is still in the chat here. Okay. About to answer your question. I'm not going to be nice though. You're an OG. I wanted to hear your thoughts on my situation. I'm not going to be nice. Okay. You're an OG. So like I've told you before, me and my guy best friend of 10 years, I remember you saying this in the chat. This guy is obviously in love with you. Let's not play around. He's 24. I'm 27. Met in Seventh-day Adventist Christian boarding school when I was 17 and he was 14. Okay. And he introduced himself to me on my first day there, and we clicked instantly. Okay. Always laughing, teasing each other, playful banter, witty and deep convos with no drama, and our relationship has been like that ever since. We think the same about many things, values and mindsets align, and so forth. And we both grew up the same. The oldest with two younger brothers, but was the black sheep of the family with religious, narcissistic, I hate that word because it's overused. It is overused. Single mother. So we're like the same. Over the years, we talk all the time about basically every day, texting, FaceTime. This guy's so clearly in love with you. I'm not sure where this is supposed to go. Texting, FaceTiming, sending each other memes, articles and videos and documentaries to watch and discuss. I'm sorry. Why haven't you been in a relationship with this man? I'm confused. But I'm in the U.S. and he's from Toronto. Where I'm from? Hey, Toronto. Maybe I know him. But I'm in the U.S. and he's in Toronto, and we haven't seen each other since 2017. Oh, wow. Okay. When he went back to Canada, he realized he ended up overstaying his visa when he was in the U.S., so we never got the chance to link when he was here, as well as just being young, dumb, broke, and trying to live our own life for once. But he's still always been consistent and been there for me. I grew up most of my life dealing with abandonment from my parents to family, my siblings, to so-called friends and relationships. But I admit I did choose most people based on loneliness instead of wisdom like I do now. But regardless of that, he's always been in my corner and he's always supported me. Such a good friend. I'm happy for you. He gives me a safe place to talk and be myself. He's never judged me or invalidated my feelings. He listens to me and doesn't interrupt or cut me off. And I used to yap. Wow. So he really likes you. But that's because I never had anyone to listen, or they just end up throwing it back in my face later on. But he's never done that. Are you ever going to say anything bad about him? He sounds amazing. I've even apologized to him for talking too much and not letting him talk, and he does that for me. And I was like, that's okay. I was like, aw. Basically, that means aw. That's what those emojis mean. He doesn't give me unsolicited advice. He just lets me talk and vent. He's kind of sweet and remembers things about me that I don't even remember telling him, or he'll notice something that I do or ask me, why do I do blank? Then I'm thinking I never knew I did that, and he's the only one that has said something about it to me before. He's always kept his word with me. If he said he was going to call a certain day or time, he did. He let me know in advance that he couldn't, and then he'd reschedule to another time for us to talk. Let's give a round of applause here, because if we're going to talk about, I know Enlightened is not necessarily in a relationship, but if we're going to talk about what it looks like to be in a long distance relationship, that's what that looks like. I know that you guys are missing the actual seeing each other in person part, but that's what that looks like. You understand what I'm saying? That consistency, that amount of effort. The only thing that's missing there is the desire to actually like see you in person. But I believe you said something about overstaying his visa. So that could be a problem a little bit outside of his control. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? But still, that is good. You said a lot of things that are good and good, healthy signs. You understand what I'm saying? We'd always talk, usually for 2 hours, even 3 hours, rarely though, just about anything and everything. He's ever been pineapple-y with me. Sorry, he's never been pineapple-y with me in conversation. Wow. But he has said a couple of things before in the past that's let me know he'd have pineapples with me if I let him. Nothing wrong with being attracted to you. But every time we're on the phone or FaceTime, neither one of us can stop smiling or laughing or talking trash to each other. Okay. I also want you guys to keep in mind, for those of you like, but you didn't say this when I was in a long distance relationship. Also keep in mind, this is throughout the span of 10 years. Okay. So let's get a little bit real here. If a guy's doing this for 10 years, it's not because, he just wants to fart around and twiddle his thumbs. Let's just be so for real. Let's acknowledge that as well. Smiling and laughing, trash talking each other. But like I said, in our relationship has always been like that since day one, and we've just gotten closer over the years. He used to be all so closed off with opening up to people, and be very surface level and vague about personal things. But over the years, he's opened up a lot more with me and tells me he tells me more personal stuff than most people in his life, and that he talks to me the most. This is all good. Part 3. He's also shown some signs of jealousy pertaining to other men, like when I told him I was out and about. I mean, if he likes you, he's going to be jealous. That's not a crime. He wanted to know why I'm being so secretive. Even remember the convo when we were on the phone days later, asking why I was saying I was out and about and being secretive. Another time I told him through Instagram DMs that I was out because he asked what I was doing, and he was like, "You're out with your N-word." I don't know if I can say that on here, okay? I didn't answer the question. So then he replied so fast saying, "So you're not going to answer the question? Damn, he want you." He is not happy if you out with someone else. I didn't reply within a minute or less. He double texted me saying question mark. He is not happy. Okay. It's good that he's bothered. That means he likes you. Then I still didn't answer, and he said, "Guess not. Mind you, I was single. LOL. My ex, wait, what? Me and my ex were still roommates though." And like, nay, what's going on? This was like 2021 or so, but I literally was chilling on the couch the whole time. I wasn't out anywhere. I'm not happy. And he was acting jealous and just wanted to see, and I just wanted to see his reaction to me saying I was out, LOL. So that was interesting. Obviously he likes you. Let's not play around. He obviously likes you. Likes you a lot, actually. I'd probably say closer to loves. Then another time I was with my ex friend from when I was a senior in high school, who I mentioned later on in this message, cutting her off. And she was on the phone with the guy at the time she was talking to, and I was on FaceTime with my guy best friend. But the guy my girl best friend was talking to was wanting her to show me his haircut because it was giving J. Cole. Wait, what? Then he was telling me about his pictures he had of Kendrick and J. Cole, because all three of them were discussing music a different day when my guy best friend wasn't around. So my guy best friend was on FaceTime, seeing me talk to this other guy back to back. Instead of focusing solely on him, he looked jealous and kind of salty, and like he was focusing intently on what me and the other guy were talking about. And he kept saying afterwards, I abandoned him. I was like, oh my God, be for real. Do you just enjoy toying with this guy? I'm confused what's going on here. But yeah, we've had a couple of issues over the years. One where I put him in check about not leaving me on red, in which I ignored him for 5 days because he didn't reply to me for 5 days. And yeah, the convo we were having at the time was reaching its end still. So LOL, each day he FaceTimed me, but I didn't answer. Then on the 5th day I did, and he apologized. Okay, so able to take accountability and apologize. The day that we FaceTimed for 4 hours. He was like, you finally answered after ignoring me for almost a week. And like the video you did today about not being a pushover, I told him how I cut a girl off we both knew and were close to. She was like my best friend, and we all went to the same boarding school together. Me and her would hang out and be together and all the time. But because she had been moving weird for a while, I just finally ghosted her, and he just listened to me talk and apologized. You gave him a horror story. I've also known him. Told him about how I cut off another girl and I went to high school with senior year because she did something childish, and how I cut off my ex boyfriend because we just should have never been together anyways. But yeah, we have told each other a decent amount of times that we love each other. Okay. Interesting. And he's the one that told me first when I was talking to him about something bogus that happened to me when I used to live with my mom and brothers. That was when we were still teenagers. I won't lie, I'm in love with him. Sorry, what? What? I won't lie, I'm in love with him. Is this a confession? Chat, is this a confession? Okay. But how could I not be? He's always been so kind, considerate, thoughtful, and genuine towards me, even told me he hopes he makes me happy because we're going to see each other in person. But that was what I've been trying to do since he can't come here, I think, for 3 or 4 years, since my mom had me as a souvenir. Oh, sovereign. Oh, sorry. I saw as sovereign. Sorry. I thought you said souvenir. I'm confused. And not in a hospital. It's been a hassle for over a year trying to get certain documents together to get my passport. So this has been the issues. But anywho, so after giving you a decent backstory as of right now, thanks to God, all the years of circle I've put in, watching you, Tony Gaskins, RC, Blake Jr., and now I believe I'm the prize. That is that my energy is so expensive and that access to me is a privilege. So I told him in May that I don't want to have any opposites pineapple friendships because I'm waiting on my husband and I want to focus on myself, God, my family, and my ministry, but that we're still cool and I see him as a best friend. Wait, what? Why are you doing that though? Why don't you just let the relationship develop? It's not like he's begging you to have pineapples with you, but that we'll have to now talk to each other like we're associates. So he told me that he was happy for me, but one time during the convo, his voice sounded like he felt some type of way. I mean, clearly he likes you, but he'll never admit that. So since then, we haven't spoken and he's out in Colombia now since March, working on getting closer to God, becoming a missionary for 6 months, probably until September. So he's pretty busy. But I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on the whole thing? And as a guy, do you think he's in love with me 100%? And if not, what do you think he is going on in his mind as a guy pertaining to how he really feels about me, considering I know he doesn't just see me as a platonic friend? Thanks in advance, and sorry it's so long, but I wanted to have plenty details, and I love your videos, by the way, but you know that. Okay, thank you for the detailed message, enlightening. To answer your question simply, 100% he's in love with you. Now, I'm not sure, I understand what you said about, understanding your value and growing more confident within yourself and wanting to get closer to God and find yourself overall. But I'm a bit confused you acknowledge that part of the reason you couldn't go see him is because of, I'll say passport issue. We'll just put it like that, right? And from what you described to me, maybe there is no issue on his part in terms of coming to the USA, or maybe there is. You didn't necessarily make that very specific, but I just feel like if you did that because you were sensing that there was no intention of you guys meeting each other in person, then I 100% agree with why you did that. But if you were doing that just because you felt like, I'm not sure, you just wanted to grow and focus more on yourself, but you still like this guy, I feel like you pushed him away a little bit, because why would you make him feel as if you're not interested in speaking to him when you still are kind of interested in speaking to him? You understand what I'm saying? So don't push someone away that you actually want to be in a relationship with. But if you did that because you felt like he wasn't serious enough about coming to see you, let's say he doesn't have an issue like you do, and he can come to the USA at any time, then I understand why you would do that, because at a certain point it becomes you're just chatting on the phone, and if there's no intention of building something here and it's just supposed to be chat 24/7, then that's not really going anywhere and you can't really do anything with that. You understand what I'm saying? So I get that part. But in terms of how he feels about you, I think 100% he's invested in you. I think the question then becomes, what is the level of seriousness that he has to actually see you in person? Okay, and I think clearly you're interested in seeing him as well. But if there continues to not be any interest on his part or intention on his part seeing you in person, then 100% I do think that you probably are going to have to move forward in the relationship, because the relationship can't for the next 10 years only be over the phone and only be phone calls and FaceTimes and text messages. You understand what I'm saying? So that is my advice on that. And thank you for the message. Okay. Next we have, I'm going to do a few more because I know that one was long. A Latin lady. Okay. The question is, do I love myself too much? Huh. Interesting. By the way, did I acknowledge this donation here? I didn't. Okay. So Deb, sorry for not acknowledging your donation here earlier. Deb said earlier, she donated $20. She said, great therapy session today. You are amazing. Advice for most women so you can understand love. Tomisin, thank you for your selfless service. By the way, guys, for those of you who also, maybe you're on TikTok or even if you're on YouTube and you want to donate to me as well, maybe not necessarily in a super chat, I also put a PayPal link in the description on my YouTube page. So it'll take you there and you can donate directly to me and the show as well if you want to donate there as well, just for those of you, because I know some people be asking, where can I donate? Where can I donate? There you go. I made that for you. So Latin Lady also says, do I love myself too much? Latin Lady says, I am 41 years old. I own a couple of businesses. One of the businesses I own, I use social media to promote it. Okay. Essentially, that's how I get my clients. When I meet men that are following a lot of promiscuous women on social media, it's a complete turnoff for me, and I tend to move on from them. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's a bad sign. Without giving them a chance. Okay. I don't take the time to search whether they're commenting or liking any pictures. There's no need to be doing that much FBI work anyways. I just move on. Am I too hard on these men? As in, should I get to know them first before I cut them off? I would say yes and no. It's complicated because I'll agree with you. Men who are following a whole bunch of, like bikini models doesn't speak very well to where his mind is at. You understand what I'm saying? I just know that the type of men that do that are really hyper fixated on pineapples. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's on their mind 24/7 because it's on their timeline 24/7. And usually those type of men are going to approach you in a way that you don't want to be approached, right? It's like they're allowing their energy to constantly be drained by, just focusing solely on chasing around women and wanking themselves off. A lot of those type of men don't have a lot of focus in their life. You understand? So I would say it's honestly good that you just don't even deal with those type of men. The last one, I did this to basically beg me to get to know him. Maybe you have a dump truck yourself and he wants to get to know you. We had been talking here and there, but nothing consistent. The inconsistent was on my part because I couldn't get over the social media part. He knew how I felt about social media and the best he could do was log off. My mentality, that's not, it still speaks to his mindset. We had been talking here and there, but nothing consistent. He knew my mentality is if Prince Harry left royalty for Meghan, the man that's trying to come into my life needs to be doing something extraordinary to stay in my life. Okay. Because of the way I feel about myself, I've been so cold, to the men, I walk away from them and they tell me that I don't like them. There's nothing wrong with being mean. Do I continue doing what I've been doing or do I soften up a bit and get to know the person? I would say, yes, you do want to allow people to show you who they are. And yes, I guess in theory, technically, you don't want to be judging someone by how much people they follow on Instagram. And you want to really get a sense of who they are by meeting them. But I will be honest with you about the way men operate and tell you that 99% of the time, the men who are, if he's following like a plethora of women, okay, this is where I actually want this to be very specific for you. If he's following a plethora of like bikini models and IG models that don't follow him back specifically, that is a problem, okay? Because it speaks to the fact that his whole focus and MO and mind is focused on chasing around these type of women, right? And just about wanking himself and seeing that 24/7. Men who have focus in their life don't have time to be following random women that they don't know. They're doing things with their life. You understand what I'm saying? They just don't have time. Also, if they're a desirable man, they don't feel the need to follow random girls because they are able to get random girls in not random girls. They're able to get beautiful girls in real life. So they don't need to follow beautiful girls as if they're some sort of fantasy, right? That's the other thing. Now, the third thing about that is what you have to come to understand is, okay, I'll give you an example for me. Any of you that were to go on my Instagram and go through my Instagram are going to see that I don't follow that many people, but you're also going to see some IG models or some baddies on that I'm following. But the reality of it is I actually know those people in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually friends with them because I used to be a club promoter and I go out. I'm an outgoing person. So, like, the people that I follow, I actually know. Some of those girls are IG baddies. So if you just went on my profile looking to see if I follow IG baddies, you would see that I follow some IG baddies, but you would also realize that those IG baddies follow me back. So that's not really a function of the fact that I'm just following a bunch of promiscuous women. It's just that I actually know those people and have met them in real life. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm actually friends with IG baddies. They're real people. You understand what I'm saying? So that could also be misconstrued depending on how you look at it. So that's why I think you should add the caveat of, is he just following only promiscuous women, random women that he doesn't know? Or is he following some IG baddies, but like he actually knows those people because of his line of work, because of his business? Maybe he's a photographer, whatever the reason is. You understand what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Most men I talk to don't make it past 3 weeks. They'll reach out to me, but I don't reply. Right. So, yeah, honestly, that's what I would say to that. Right. You got to give them a chance. You got to give them a chance and an opportunity if the scenario is that he's following women that also follow him back. Right. And this is like actually people that he knows or in a circle or whatever. Now, if he's just following complete randoms that don't follow him back, that he doesn't know and doesn't even have a chance of meeting, that's not good. It doesn't speak to his mindset well. And I'll be honest with you, the men that have things to do, they don't have time to be following around random IG women, nor do the men who are emotionally mature want to have that as a distraction that they're seeing every day. Because rest assured, that is a distraction. Because every time you're seeing a girl post her dump truck in a bikini online and you're just scrolling through and that's all you're seeing on your timeline, that's what we call a trigger. Right? It's a trigger for men because when they see that, they think to themselves, oh, let me go start watching pineapple videos and wank myself off. So if he's seeing that on his timeline 24/7, what do you think he's going to be thinking 24/7? I need to go wank myself off. It just speaks to the mindset that his time is being wasted. He's not focused and he doesn't have direction. You know what I mean? And he has not put himself yet in a position as a man where he knows how to eliminate distractions. Okay. So honestly, I would say keep doing what you're doing and you're on the right path in terms of identifying where are you at? Are you a man who has direction, or are you one of these loosey-goosey men, flow with the wind men that, will have your tongue wagging to tail wagging and your tongue out for any girl who walks by with the dump truck? Not a good sign. Okay. Next we have here, let's see. Okay. Wow, a lot of scrolling. We got a lot to do. Isabella. So Isabella says, went from something casual to real interest. Okay. So Isabella says, hi, Tomisin. I've done everything wrong here. Okay. I'm 21. In January, my sorority had an event with a frat. This is already bad. When you say sorority and frat in the same sentence, I know this is going downhill. Where I met this guy, he's 19. Okay. We have an age limit here, but obviously you're 21, so we'll continue. But this obviously wasn't going to go well. We're talking about frat, and then we're talking about 19. I don't know what you thought what was going to happen here. Almost 20. Oh, great. Anyways, I thought he was attractive, so I joined the group of people he was talking to. So this is like a party, right? I introduced myself to everyone I didn't know, but he didn't talk to me much. Maybe it's a part of an initiation. Don't talk to cute girls. Later, I followed him and a few guys from his frat on Instagram. Nice. A week later, he DM'd me, add my brother Joe on Snap. This is the problem with frat boys. Everything's like a challenge. Everything's like an initiation. Everything's like a game and a mad dash to sleep with women. It just... Anyways, I said Joe can talk to me himself if he wants. Like, I don't even understand what this is. Is this as actual friend, or is he just speaking in third person? Either way, it's cringe. But I would rather talk to you. You actually said that to him? Wow. I guess you're a sorority girl. He said that I should have talked to him then. What? I left him on red. 2 weeks later, he added me on Snap, joking that I was playing hard to get. That's playing hard to get? We started snapping and having a conversation here and there. Someone who's like 21 years old, please explain to me, is this the regular like order of things to go? You get someone, I don't know. I think maybe I'm a grandpa now, so I don't understand how the kids meet and you know, connect. Is the order of operations to like meet someone, get their number first or their IG, then go on to Snap? Is Snap the new end goal now? I think I'm confused. Because I always felt like Snap was something you quickly try to get out of so that you can make the relationship real. I didn't know that people actually take themselves off of like Instagram or text message or even WhatsApp and then go into Snap and then start having a conversation there. Is that the new thing that the kids are doing? Maybe I'm confused. I invited him to my house one night. You thought that was a good idea? To hang with me and my roommates. You thought that was a good idea. Nothing happened beyond flirting. Let's see. I see some emojis. But then on Valentine's Day, I found out he had a girlfriend. I backed off due to this. Clearly not. There's more to the message. I saw him around still, but I didn't talk to him. Then in April, I started new meds that increased my libido. That's what you're going to blame it on? Just get you a toy. That's what you're going to blame it on? Desperate for pineapples, I thought he was safe because he had a girlfriend. Oh, God, help these people. I don't understand. I don't understand. Help these people. Help these people. Help these people. Help them. Help them. You thought that man was more safe for you because he had a girlfriend. Where they do that at? Where do they do that at? You're horned up. You're trying to spread your legs wide open, get yourself busted open, and the first thought in your mind is, let me go find that man with a girlfriend because he's the least likely to give me the clap. That is the thought process going through your mind. Do you have so much blood flow in your lower extremities that you can't even think straight? You're at a college. That means there's a minimum of 10,000 people that attend your college. That means if you split it in half, at the very least, there's at least 4,999 other men that you could hit up and talk to and have a conversation with. And I'm sure at least 10% of those men do not have the clap. Why are you seeking the man with a girlfriend to have pineapples with? Why would you think that was a good idea? This type of stuff actually gets me upset. I don't, like, why would you think that was the good idea? So that I wouldn't get attached. That was, the theory you came up with is that so that I don't get attached and so that I'll be safe, let me go and sleep with the guy with the girlfriend. You really can't make this stuff up. You really can't. I told him I wanted pineapples. Oh, I'm sorry. I just can't even get through a sentence because you keep saying stuff that's even more ridiculous. You went to the guy with the girlfriend and told him straight up, I want pineapples from you. Do you have any self-worth? I know you're 21, but do you have any self-worth at all? I know you're in a sorority. He's in a frat, so I guess everyone's loosey-goosey. Nobody cares. But do you have any self-respect, though? Any? Just even a little bit? And he started texting me more and said he wanted pineapples. Of course he did. Like, why? Okay, why are you saying this as if like, oh yeah, now I know he want. Of course, you literally said, here, take me for free. I don't care about giving away my body, mind, and soul and spirit to you, even though you're not going to do anything for me, even though you're not going to build a relationship with me, even though you probably don't even know my last name. I'll give myself to you for nothing while you have a girlfriend and build your relationship with her. Oh God, help these women in college. I don't know what type of pill you took. What was you said something, you took meds? Get off those meds. Get off those meds immediately. If that's what that's doing to your body and doing to your squirtle, that you're so lubricated, you're like a waterfall down there and it's soaking through your pants and you can't even think straight, and you do stuff like this, get off those meds immediately and never, ever use those meds again. In fact, please, in your update, please, before we finish the show, if you're watching, in your update, please tell the entire chat room or go in general chat and tell the rest of the chat exactly the name of the meds that you took so that everyone knows exactly what meds they should be avoiding. Because this is insanity. If the meds are making you do this, please, these meds need to be banned. We need to report these meds to the FDA. I beg of you. Please, identify those meds in the chat so that everyone knows what meds to stay away from. Okay? He said he wanted pineapple since we met. Cool. I'm sure he did. Right? 2 weeks later, it happened. Wow. How much work did he have to put in for that? None. The next week, he broke up with his girlfriend. I hope you're not thinking that you're going to be his new girlfriend. I would hope the meds don't make you that loopy. Okay, let's hope so. I planned on keeping him as a side thing. He started treating me differently after being single. They never learn. He began trying to figure me out. He would also try to make me jealous and mad, but I told him I'm not a jealous person. Let's see how long that lasts. So it didn't work. But I would do the same thing to him just to play with his head. Why do the same thing to him if you don't care? Huh? One time he said that he leaves girls on red just to show his dominance and then started doing it to me occasionally. Messing around, I once unadded him for leaving me on red, then shortly added him back and we continued talking as normal. So maybe he didn't even notice. You're playing games with yourself? This is so childish. After watching your videos, I know I shouldn't have done this. I'm glad you came to a little bit of sense. In May, he was in my hometown with my family. Sorry, you started with my family. With his family for a weekend. We live 4 hours away from each other. So you're seeing him outside of school now? This can't just be a school thing? He didn't even try to see me at all. Are you shocked? Are you shocked? This is supposed to be a school thing. I'm at school, so I sleep with you when I'm at school. And when I go home, I want to have fun with my real family and real friends. I don't want to talk to you. Why are you shocked? What are you expecting from him? I left him on red for about a week because I didn't like that. I thought this was just meant to be a fun, casual thing for you. Women, you beautiful women. You guys are so amazing, you women. I need to remind you every single time we go through a message like this, please, 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 for me, don't even do it for yourself, for me. Please stop trying to be like the men. You cannot sleep with people casually and just not have any feelings attached. No matter how much you want to feel like you can just do whatever you want and never care, you're going to end up caring and you're going to end up looking like an idiot. Knowing he is petty, I knew he wouldn't contact me after being left on red, so I sent him a blank photo. What? He was very happy when I snapped him and asked me to never disappear like that again. You feel good about that? Does that make you wet? I told him that was dependent on how he treated me. Later that week, he told me he had a dream about me. Yeah, a wet dream. And then asked me to take me out on a date when we return to school in August. Let's see if he goes through with that. My guess is he won't. Let's see. I was surprised, but agreed. After this, I decided I wouldn't have, I think you meant say pineapples with him again until after several dates. Oh, God, that's rich. That's rich. That is rich. You offered yourself to him when he had a girlfriend, and you gave him yourself for free while he was in a relationship. He took you for nothing. He jackrabbited himself inside you for 90 seconds and gave you nothing. Now you think you're about to switch it up, and what you are giving him for absolutely free, you're now gonna stand on business and say, look here, young man, you're not gonna get access to me for free. You're gonna have to work for this because I'm one of these different women out here. I'm so valuable, and I'm not like any other type of woman you've ever been with before because I'm special and you won't get this from me easy. That's rich. That's very rich. But you want to know the truth? He's gonna take you as a joke. One day he left me on open randomly because he takes you like a joke. I asked what he was up to, and he said he was mad because I haven't been replying as often. I don't think he actually cares. So he put his attention elsewhere. Exactly. That night he left me on open again. I unadded him. I regret this because it makes me look bothered. He then started posting things on Insta seeming like a ploy to get me jealous. I muted his story after a week, but he also stopped watching mine after I did this. I know this is bad, but I'm very intuitive. Here comes some delusion. I know when you start saying this, there's some delusion right after this. And I know I always follow my intuition, and I got a strong sense to add him back. I told you the delusion is coming. After like a month of not talking. So I did. He added me back and sent me a message, but also there were messages. So I won't even say it. He added me back, but also there were messages from a month ago of him saying he didn't even mean to leave me on open. He just didn't have time to respond back because he was at work. The messages were very passive aggressive. I responded, and then we started arguing as per usual. I told him that I enjoyed talking to him like normal and I don't want to argue. What happened to the date that he was going to take you on? Oh, what happened? I thought this date was going to happen. I thought we were all sure the date was going to happen. He said he agrees that we now have been talking like before. I have been slow to respond and I'm not initiating any conversation, but you do unadd him and re-add him. I am letting him do everything. I also am not going to care in the future if he leaves me on open again. Chat, can you really take in? This is all happening on Snapchat. This isn't even happening in person or even over text message. Wow. Now I know I do want to, let me get through this and then we'll address it. Now I know I did a lot wrong and I'm scared I have shown him that he has control over me. 100% you have. You've shown him also that you don't have a lot of respect for yourself. You've shown him that as well. Can I reclaim my power after this? Probably not. Just to be honest with you, I feel like he was interested and I could have handled this better. That would have started with not offering him free pineapples while he was with another girl. But at the same time, I can't tell if he's just playing me. 100%, he's playing you. My sorority is going to homecoming with his frat, and these events are required, so I'm going to see him a lot next semester. You better Get over him. I find him very attractive, but I will try to stay strong and not have pineapples with him. That, I'm sorry to tell you, Isabella, that ship has sailed. Okay? You trying to stand on, like you did it I don't even know how you could do it worse than how you did it. Not only did you give him free, easy access to you, but you gave him that access to you while he was in a relationship, and you acknowledged that he had a relationship and the fact that you didn't care and you still just wanted to give him that free access to you. You have stooped below the lowest of the low. Like below the lowest of low value is the lowest of low value that way that you have presented yourself. So the idea that you are going to stay strong and not give him pineapples now is not going to do anything. You have already shown yourself to him as being no value, not low value, no value. You don't even respect yourself enough to say, I only want you if you're single. That ship has sailed, Isabella. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself, but I'm only going to be able to help you if I'm real with you. And you need a crazy dose of reality, because what you did was insane. And the idea that you're asking that man any sort of commitment after doing that is you've lost your marbles. Other than that, how should I react around him in person? Don't. You should actually use this as a learning lesson on how well you will embarrass yourself if you aren't focused on the right things and controlling yourself and closing your legs. Also, over text, he acts unbothered, but in person, he was bringing up things I said a week prior, which made me think he was actually bothered. I promise you, at the end of the day, he always will have the leg up because he slept with you for nothing. So the actual person that will be in pain if this situation if you never speak again, will be you, which is actually the same reason why you messaged him after like a month you said. Because you realize, right, it's painful to think back to the situation that you had with him and realize that you gave yourself to him for nothing. And now that you guys aren't talking anymore or texting anymore, literally that was a waste of a body. So then you message him again, hoping that you can rekindle this and it's not a waste of a body. I'm here to tell you it's a waste because he doesn't want to build anything with you. Also, when we were with his friends, he gave me his hoodies to wear and they were teasing him about liking me. That's actually a horrible sign. That's not a good sign, especially if he's in a frat. That might mean there are some either rumors or stories going around about you that it is embarrassing to like you. That's not a good sign. Okay? Not a good sign at all. And I know that as someone who's been to college and how easily things can spread around. Not a good sign. Later that night, especially if he told his frat boys what happened, that you offered him pineapples while he was with his other girl. Not a good sign. Later that night, you got to protect your reputation. I know I keep pausing. You have, in college and university especially, you have to be protective of your reputation as a woman. Things will quickly spiral out of control. Trust me. Trust me. Later that night, he went on about how beautiful I am and had a perfect body. But on text, he rarely compliments me, and he even denied calling me perfect. And most of the time, he actually is making fun of me, mainly my personality and how I'm interesting, but not in a good way, whatever that means. It doesn't mean a lot of good things. I think you need to start becoming very protective of your reputation at your school. This will spiral quickly out of control, especially when we're talking about sororities and frats. This ain't play. Okay, you'll end up on an episode of 13 Reasons Why if you start that's how college and university can go if you're not careful about how you go about your reputation and how you carry yourself. Okay, I'm really serious about that. I don't care what people think. You say that now. But this brings up more questions for me, indeed myself as well. If a guy acts completely different in person than through text, is it a green or a red flag? It's definitely a red flag, especially if he's a frat boy. I just have to be honest with you. Rumors spread very easily, whether they're true or untrue. And you don't want to be giving people a reason to be spreading rumors or even think anything of a situation in the way that you present yourself. And I'll be honest with you, if he told his boys, his frat boys, about what you did, because that's actually what you did in terms of sleeping with him and offering yourself to him while he had a girlfriend, that is a very, 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 very bad foundation to your reputation, because people will build stories off of that even might be untrue. But because of that situation, they will now be of the belief that you are a particular type of person. It's not good. It's not good. Things can spiral out of control very quickly. I've had other guys act like this, but in an opposite way, where they were nice on text and they say all the nice things, and then they never hold up their standard in person. What's the deal with that inconsistency in men, and what does that mean? Isabella, I think, honestly, everything else you asked is irrelevant. The actual thing I want to address here, you need to start being hyper aware of your reputation at that school, because this is going to quickly spiral out of control if you don't start getting a hold of this. This guy, you need to let go of this situation, okay? Because you keep making yourself look like a fool, and the longer you make yourself look like a fool, the worse things are going to get. On top of the fact you already made an ultimate grave mistake, and I'm sure you know that by now, but this is not salvageable. This man does not like you, nor does he want to build a relationship with you. He only wants to see how much he can mess around with you and what he can get you to do. And he probably thinks it's funny and interesting messing around with you. There is no desire here within him to build a relationship with you. I can assure you of that. So don't even waste any more of your time. What you need to be spending your time and energy on is fixing and repairing your reputation, so that this story of you offering yourself to him while he had a girlfriend doesn't start getting spread around campus and you become that girl. Those of you who have been to college or university know what I mean when I say that girl. It's not a good thing. Because that girl, right, that says, I don't care about what other people think, I don't care about what other people say, trust me, they say that for a while until the ridicule becomes too much and too painful, and they feel like crawling into a cave somewhere. So I just need to warn you of that. I know you're 21 and you think you're invincible right now, but I can assure you, college is a very not nice place if you don't take care of your reputation. And whenever you have a bunch of college kids around, and especially when you're talking about frats and sororities, things spread quickly. Take care of your reputation so that you can take care of your future and take care of your mental health. Get rid of this guy and stop offering yourself to people for cheap, easy thrills. A lot of people in college are only looking to have fun with you just to waste time, because they're on campus. And that should be apparent to you, because when he was in his hometown with his family, he wasn't interested in wasting time on you, because that time is for his friends and family, not to be wasting time talking to you. That should clue you in that he's only seeking the cheap thrill of talking to you when you're on campus and he has nothing better to do. Don't waste your life away. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. And damn sure don't waste bodies on people, specifically men, that don't want to build a relationship with you. Okay? I know we went extra long today. Sorry about that. That was a really long question, and I had to make sure I answered that properly. But I wanted to make sure that she got her proper answer on that situation there. Okay, so if I didn't answer your question, don't fret. You'll get a chance to send in your question in the future shows, and I will answer them live on the show. I answer them in every show. Okay. By the way, thank you to Coach Leslie, who donated $5 in the YouTube chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. By the way, those of you who want to donate, if you're on TikTok, right, and you want to donate because you're like, I don't know how these gifts works, just head over to my YouTube, and in the link in the description of this live show, at the bottom, you'll see the PayPal donate link where you can donate directly to me as well, for those of you who are really adamant about donating to the show because it helps you, okay? And like I said, I will, if you didn't get a chance to send in your question, make sure that you send in your question. If you're on YouTube, just go over to the link in my bio and you can send it in there. And then if you're on if you're on TikTok, go over the link in my bio and send it in there. If you're on YouTube, go in the link in the description right at the bottom and you can send in your question in the relationship advice section there. For those of you who want to find me on other platforms, I'm available on Instagram. You can follow me there and see everything I've been doing up until this point. You can get to know me, scroll through my videos and pictures, see what I've been doing up until I came on this screen before you today. Okay. And you can find me there on Instagram. It's right above my head on the left side of the screen if you're on TikTok, and it's right on the bottom right on the screen if you're on YouTube as well. So go ahead, you follow me. Okay. And be nosy on everything that I do. If you are on TikTok and you want to go follow my YouTube because you missed part of the show and you want to see it in its entirety, or you also want to watch previous shows, they're all available on my YouTube. You can replay them, rewatch them. And the best part is they have the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video so that you can follow along with all the conversation as well. So go over to my YouTube, just type my name in or copy and paste this, and you'll find it in the live section of my YouTube page. All right. Other than that, I'm here every day, Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're going to catch me again tomorrow on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you, set it in your calendar, 4 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to be a special Saturday today. I'm going to be live this Saturday, but instead of having a regular show, it's going to be only Discord questions on Saturday at 4 p.m. So make sure you remember that. But in general, I'm always here Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow at exactly 4 p.m. All right. Until then, arrivederci, adios, au revoir, goodbye for now. And I will see you tomorrow where we'll talk about love, life, and relationships. Okay. I love you so much. Have a great rest of your night, evening, afternoon, or morning. Until we meet again. Bye for now.